Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Shishi Zed. Fresh and Fit gets slammed by Joe Budden, Abba and Preach, and many more. I also made a video in reaction to the recent situation between them and Asian Doll. Now, in all honesty, guys, I'll be really honest right now. I didn't want to address that situation, but I had to. I had to for two reasons. First reason being that I knew other platforms were going to use this opportunity to paint the RP space, the manosphere, in a negative light, right? I knew that, but more on that later. Now, I didn't agree with everything Fresh and Fit did on that podcast. I did agree with the fact that they kicked Asian Doll out. That is their platform. The guest who came on their platform was interrupting multiple times, and they had every right to kick her out. Again, every right to kick her out. I will stand by that. Now, I also disagreed with the way that they expressed themselves in regards to women of color, black women. And I didn't say anything about like, oh, you know, we shouldn't talk bad about black women. No, I understand people's preferences. I said the expected thing, which you guys probably think. I said there are better ways they could have said it, right? I think the way that they said it really put a bad taste in many people's mouth, including myself, man. I thought that they could have done a better job than that. I actually contacted Myron and I told him, hey, I'm going to make a video about you. Why? Because I've never made a video about Fresh and Fit ever before when it comes to their beef and their drama. Right, when it comes to them getting put in the spotlight and people coming with pitchforks and knives, I chose to stay out of that. But on the Coffee Pod, things are going a little bit different. I want to get into Joe Budden's response to Fresh and Fit real quick. Joe Budden shared this that was actually shared by the Shade Room. I'm not going to read everything because it's kind of long. The post said, "Now, I don't normally do the repost another pod thing because one, I don't, and two, some stuff just doesn't deserve to be highlighted. But today, I'll make an exception, ... I don't know these two doofs." All right, so right there, he's already, you know, with the insults, you already know how he's coming. But they don't get to do this. Too ignorant, inexperienced, insecure, fragile, and weak for this stale gimmick to not be seen through. Black women are everything, especially beautiful, Joe Budden says. Every kind of beautiful too. So to hear this from them, laugh out loud, it's laughable, but it's not. It's not y'all don't date black women, fam. Black women don't date y'all. I can tell, with parentheses. So you harbor this hate and base opinions off as if you've been outside long enough to even know yourselves, and y'all are angry about it, just not angry enough to not use them. All right, so Joe Budden obviously didn't like the video posted by Fresh and Fit where they talk about their preference in dating. And the truth is, I didn't like that video too. My problem with this whole thing is assuming that Fresh and Fit hate black women because of their preference, and not only that, because of how they express themselves, right? I think when it comes to preferences, things are gonna get weird, regardless. Whether you're a white guy who says, I don't date black women, or you're a white woman who says, I don't date black men, it doesn't matter how nicely you say it, feelings are gonna get hurt. I understand that this is a sensitive subject. But what I don't like about this specific post is him painting them as men who hate black women. I don't think that's the case. Now, could they have expressed themselves a lot better than they did? Yeah, it takes a certain amount of understanding to know that, like saying the Knight Rider thing, like within the RP space, especially men that watch Fresh and Fit, right? If we hear the Knight Rider thing, we laugh at that. We know it's funny, but it takes a certain level of understanding to know that, like, if you say that, yes, it might resurface on a public platform like Shade Room, and they're gonna obviously blow it out of proportion. Now, moving on, this isn't about Joe Budden. I'm moving on. Abba and Preach also honed in on the situation as expected. And obviously, you know, they do their thing where they'll like release a video about Fresh and Fit, and then they'll do another video with a sponsored ad so that they can benefit monetarily from the situation, which is cool, right? I respect it. Now, in all transparency, man, I'm a huge Aber and Preach fan, even more than Joe Budden. I don't listen to Joe Budden. I don't really know what his, I know he talks about like artists and music and things like that. I know he's a musician, but I don't listen to Joe Budden. I do, however, listen to Aber and Preach, right? I listened to them before I created content. So there's a certain level of respect I have for their platform. There are things they said that I agreed with. There are things they said that I disagreed with. One of the things that they said that I disagreed with and that I notice is how they paint the manosphere in specific in a light that is negative overall. Overall, especially when ABBA tries to paint the whole manosphere and, you know, whether you consider ABBA and Preach part of the manosphere or Fresh and Fit. I know at some point Fresh and Fit said that they were considering just like not even claiming the manosphere. Whatever, man. I'm just saying male-based platforms, right? When ABBA and Preach address men in the manosphere, it's usually like after some viral clip of something ridiculous has happened on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and they want to focus in on that. And they want to paint the whole manosphere with that same brush when we know that actually is not the truth. They are different types of people within this space, right? You can't say things like, oh, why are people in the manosphere so upset, so down on black women? I love black women. And so when you say that, you're doing the same thing that I had a problem with Fresh and Fit, assuming that the Black app, right, the dating app Black, only has ratchet ghetto black women on there because their names are Shaniqua and I know probably not everyone's name is Shaniqua on the app, but I'm just saying you're doing the same things, right? And that was my problem. What I agreed with ABBA and Preach was that there's a difference between having a preference and sounding like you have a disdain towards a certain race or type of people. I don't think Fresh and Fit are racist, right? I don't think that at all. I don't. But hey, maybe you might disagree with me, maybe you might not, but that's what this conversations are for. What I love about ABBA and Preach is I often think that they take a very balanced approach when discussing situations, right? I heard him talk about how they don't want to see platforms within any space get canceled, right? People shouldn't be muted. People shouldn't be censored. And this goes back to another situation that I'm not going to get into at this moment, but I also agree with that. I respect that about them. But getting down to the main reason this video had to be made and why we're really here talking about this right now is the RP, right? We're going to move into some RP heavy stuff right now, my guys. So listen, put your RP lenses on. We're going to get into it. So the Shade Room. The Shade Room a few days ago decided to share a post by Fresh and Fit in regards to this whole fiasco and everything that was going on. That was, I believe it's been about a day right now. It's funny how like this stuff always seems like it's been longer and it drags on a lot longer, but you know, viral clips never last that long. So they shared that heated moment between Myron and Asian Doll kind of getting into it on the show. And of course, people had something to say. And then following that, and this is really important that you listen to this and understand this, following that, they shared an old video. Yes, that video is old, of Fresh and Fit, Myron and Walter, talking about their dating preferences. I want to let you know right now that that was not by mistake. It was not an accident. It was not by mistake that they used this opportunity when Fresh and Fit were trending for obviously something that wasn't so positive, popular with most people who tune into the Shade Room. Why did they do that? Well, because it was a strategic move. Let me tell you guys something. If you believe that the Shade Room are just finding out about Fresh and Fit today, if you actually think that they are just finding out about the RP community, about people within the space and Kevin Samuels and other people, I'm just naming big hitters within the space. If you think that they're just finding out about these guys right now, then you're sadly mistaken. They could have put a spotlight on Fresh and Fit before because they've had other celebrities come on the platform and things have gone smoothly. They've had DJ Academics on the platform. I know they put DJ Academics, okay, they put him on in the past, right? I understand that. They did put him on in the past. But even when they did put him on, it was always to highlight a negative situation. That's the point that I'm trying to get to. Before DJ Academics, they had Blackson on there. They had Kodak Black on the show. In this gynocentric, female-empowered society, platforms that push that narrative, right? That female empower narrative. That whatever is best for the woman is right. And whatever men find important doesn't really matter. Strong men don't matter. A single woman, oh, that's strong. A single mother, oh, that's strong. Women don't need to bring anything to the table. Why? Because they are the table. In a society that thinks like that, they will always paint anybody from the RP space, from the manosphere, in a negative light. Always. There's a reason they decided to post that clip from a ways back. It was a strategic move, right? Abba and Preach. I want to go back to them. Abba and Preach only react to viral videos of Fresh and Fit for a reason. There's a reason they don't go look at the men who are actually sharing success stories and post that on their page. Well, I'll be a hypocrite to tell you guys that, like, first of all, we know as content creators that you're not going to click on the positive stuff. That's one of the reasons. You guys are the problem. And I am a part of you guys, right? I'm a part of you guys. So why is it that as humans, we love the negative stuff? We love the negative shit. But you can choose to once in a while go against that. And I do that on my channel. I make a deliberate effort to make sure that I talk about positive shit on my channel. Peace, positivity, self-awareness, motivation. That's my mantra. Which is why, man, like when guys came on like my last video about Fresh and Fit, and they said things like, oh man, I'm so disappointed. I'm not watching another one of your videos till you get rid of your co-host, Felici, because such and such, and you should have done this. Listen, man, I'm not on my platform to argue. I'm not on my platform to go back and forth with anybody. Part of the problem with that, a lot of you guys out here, is you haven't understood that women are going to be women, man. Women are never going to think like a man. Here's another pill for you to swallow. She will never think like you. She will never be logical. Traditional, feminine, inspirational, that does not mean necessarily logical. She still needs her guidance, dog. She's goofy, right? And so when I bring women on my platform, a lot of times I understand. I know what they're going to say in most situations. And I used to go back and forth, right? I used to do the whole no cap show thing, which might come back. Who knows? But I'm not going to do that every time, especially not with the co-host who I expect to just have dialogue going back and forth. So to you guys that are like, oh, I'm not going to watch you anymore because such and such and such. You're no different than the cancel culture people, period. Because I'm still going to watch Fresh and Fit because they're needed. Long live Fresh and Fit, straight up. I'll still watch Abba and Preach, even though I disagree with some of the stuff they say, right? I wish I did watch Joe Budden. I probably still would. Why? Because I don't really, I know people have things to offer. I'm there to listen to people that disagree with me. I don't take things personally, and I live my life. I live my life. Going back to the strategic move that's being played right now, there are a lot of people out here who are using this Fresh and Fit situation to just say, listen, we need to cancel all male empowering platforms. Every platform on YouTube, every black man who has a mic needs to get canceled. Why? Because they are wrong. They are spewing hate. They are the problem. I want to read this post coming from The Spiritual Word. Their accounts gets like deleted all the time. I wonder what's going on with that. If you know, let me know in my DM. Add me on Instagram. Chisha Zed. This post was recently shared on The Spiritual Word. It says, niggas gotta stop podcasting and start building houses and shit again, because this is getting out of hand. Now, this post obviously has to do with the current climate regarding male platforms. Number one being Fresh and Fit, and I'm sure many others he's referring to in that post. But wait, he has 3 more posts. The next post says, step away from that microphone and go change the oil in your car. So basically, he's telling men who either listen to platforms like this or podcasters within the manosphere that they aren't man enough. His next post says, podcasts have turned into a platform for you to talk your way out of coochie, aka busting those cheeks. Come on, man. There's no way you could look at someone like myself or anybody else within this platform and confirm that none of us are busting those cheeks. I know you're not going to say that about me, dog. And that's facts. His last post says, then there's another bunch of niggas walking around asking women to rate themselves just so they can disagree. Put that mic down and pick up a socket wrench. But that's not all. We've got another post. These posts are coming from Facebook where a lady posted and said, in my opinion, and I read this in my last video, guys. She said, in my opinion, most black male ran podcasts and channels were the worst thing to happen to black women. Notice how it's about black women once again. And just black women. Guys, this doesn't mean that I don't like black women. Trust me, I do. But remember, these messages are coming from blue pill men like the guy I just talked about, right? That white knight, that simp, that beta. And also women who are deeply indoctrinated by this gynocentric society. She goes on to say, I'm beyond sick every time a dust mop goes viral for humiliating us. When will we get tired and stop participating in the abuse by giving them views, call-ins, and showing up for the slaughter? Because they're getting slaughtered left and right. 304s. She ends the post by saying, your degradation is generating them millions while your image and safety continues to suffer the most. So she's saying, hey, platforms that like deal with male issues, right? Things that men want to talk about, issues they have with the opposite sex, topics that have to do with intersexual dynamics from a male perspective are a threat to the female narrative, which isn't all the way false. Why? Because they would hate to have men have platforms where they could speak their truth. The final post I want to read to you guys also comes from Twitter, and it says, podcasts are one of the worst things to happen to the black community. I'm so serious. So as you can see, man, a lot of people out here are using this specific situation, this Fresh and Fit situation, as a disguise to paint all male platforms, including Fresh and Fit, as overall being terrible for men. Not only men, but specifically for black women in specific. And the people that are saying this are not people who've gone and watched the long form videos and have sat down and really have understood what what people in the space are talking about. No, these are people who don't want to change, right? Women who don't want to be nurturing, women who don't want to cooperate with the man, the boss babe types. These are women, these are men, simps, white knights who've been waiting to capitalize on an opportunity to bring down male platforms. I started producing content back in 2021. And during that time, that was like a really exciting time, man. I moved out here to Hollywood. I'm in Los Angeles right now. And one of the big questions that was asked during that time is, will the RP go viral? Will there be a time when the RP will be like a topic in mainstream platforms? And I believe we are living in that time. And there are many guys in this space who've speculated what that would look like. The RP going viral. I remember Rollo Tomasi, author of The Rational Male, buy that book, right? It will change your life. I remember him actually talking about it and saying things like, if the RP does go viral, you can expect that the media won't cover people or platforms that are actually helping men, but they'll cover the guys who are on the edge of extremes or extreme situations or just bad situations that could have been maybe resolved better. Like that video I told you about Fresh and Fit that I disagreed with, or that Asian doll situation, which I thought there was nothing wrong with. I think they were in the right. But what they won't do is highlight the positives of how men's lives are literally getting changed within the manosphere. How men are literally deciding to not off themselves and instead keep living their lives, keep improving themselves, hitting the gym, taking care of themselves, leveling up. They won't focus on that. They'll focus on the negative. And I remember Rollo actually talking about like, they'll focus on like the weird side of YouTube. Now, I'm not quoting him. This is just like a rough translation of what he said. You can probably go find other videos where he actually goes into more depth about those specific topics. But here's the truth. The RP helps produce more competent and attractive men. And most women feel the same way. They may not tell you, but if you've taken the principles you've learned from my videos and other people within this space when it comes to dating, relationships, and you've applied it, bro, I know your life has gotten better. I know that, dog. I know that you've improved your dating life. Unless if you're not trying. The guys that are not trying, as in they're not willing to face rejection 100 times before they get that one yes, and get that confidence from that one yes, and then that confidence becomes the reason why they actually end up improving, and they get a 2% yes and 3% yes, and then they build on that. You're the guys out there who are not getting progress. But I know a lot of you men who come back, watch my content, and many others, you're getting results. Men in relationships, watch my content. Single men running rotations, spinning plates, watch my content. Men who are just living that monk mode life, right? And focusing on their purpose, on their goals, watch my content. The RP helps produce more competent and attractive men, not only to women, but to other men, because they're sure of themselves. Because what they believe is based in reality. It's not a belief system. And this is a common misconception when it comes to the RPs, that a lot of people out there think that the RP is some sort of belief system. Well, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in those guys. I don't believe in the red pill. You can't not believe in it because it's based in reality. Women are hypergamous, period. That's one aspect of RP truth. Whether you try to ignore it or deny it, it is the truth. Women want to date up. A female nurse wants to date or marry the doctor. She doesn't want to date or marry the guy who's a fellow nurse. If she had it her way and had an ideal situation. Women are attracted to men who are taller and stronger than them. Those things matter. Men who are more competent than them. If you ask the woman her ideal type of man, she would describe a man who makes more money than her. That is not by accident, it's by design. Whose design? Maybe God's. If you believe in that, I believe in God. But if you want to attribute it to the universe, all I'm saying is it is in a woman's nature to be hypergamous, amongst other things. The RP is not a set of beliefs that you can choose to agree or disagree with, right? There are other things within the RP that make sense. Why women are attracted to alpha men, because those men are the most likely to come home with the meat. Whoever is ready to do whatever it takes to come home with the meat, that man who's willing to go to a certain extreme, whether it could be competitiveness, he's not afraid to argue with you and be confrontational so he can get a better raise. Or you go back to the Stone Ages and caveman, he's not afraid to stab you in the neck. I don't know. That guy, women are going to find more attractive, not because they choose to, but because it is within their nature. Now, I'm not telling y'all to go around stabbing people. Don't turn this into that. Come back to reality. Apply it to the life you're living in now. Embrace the alpha mentality is all I'm trying to say. The RP is necessary. You can ignore truth. You can ignore reality. You can ignore the RP, but you can't avoid the consequences of ignoring reality. That you can't avoid. Fresh and Fit, they're needed. Whether you disagree with their approach or not, they are helping men out there. And maybe they might outgrow them at a certain point, but a lot of people have been introduced to them. Why? Because they are grabbing the most attention in this time. Attention is huge, man. Attention is huge, especially in our day and age right now of technology. Their platform is needed, along with many other platforms. But you know what's not needed? Cancel culture. Cancel culture is a cancer. Why? Because it allows people to live in ignorance and stay in their bubble and not entertain whether something is true or not, right? Study new ideas. Last but not least, man, listen to me, bro, and listen well. The RP is real. The RP is the real deal. It is reality. You know this, especially if you've applied some of what I've talked about, some of what I've taught. It's real. You know being a simp is wrong. You know that being a nice guy and trying to please every person you come in contact with is wrong. You know putting women on a pedestal is wrong. You know loving a woman too much is wrong. You know finding truth in yourself and purpose in yourself. That's right. That's right. That's something you can trust. And that is part of embracing the alpha mentality. And people don't like those terms and those words, alpha, but it really just means, man, leader, right? The person in charge. And so I'm asking you, who's in charge of your life? Who's in charge of your life? Because if you're in charge of your life and you wake up early, you have some shit to do, but you don't want to do it, but you do it anyways, you're embracing the alpha mentality. If you're improving your life, if you're hitting the gym, even if you haven't started, but you keep telling yourself, I need to get in there, bro. I have to get in there. I have to stop drinking this shit. I have to stop eating like this. If you are there mentally and you're fighting those negative thoughts that want you to be soft, that don't want you to take a hold of your life, then you are embracing the alpha mentality. Now, when it comes to women, you know, there's certain things you need to know, certain dynamics you need to follow, and, you know, you got to watch a little bit more of my content. And I might have a course coming out soon on that as well. But overall, man, you know what it is. Always peace, positivity, self-awareness, and motivation, right? If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. The goal is still 60K subscribers by the end of January. I believe I'm going to reach that goal, and I'm going to do everything to reach it. And that is a pretty bold move. Why? Because I'm at like what? What am I at right now? Let me check right now. I'm at 35K subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you all. Let me know what you thought of the content in the comment section down below. Until next time, my name is Chishu Zed. I'm out. Peace.